This is a section when I went to, in this book I went to Extremadura, part of Spain that a lot of Spanish people never go to, and there's certainly a lot of tourists from outside Spain who don't go to. Having lived here for a long time, I hadn't had really any contact with Gypsy people, Romani people. And so that was the kind of thing I was hoping to happen when I was out and about, travelling all alone, being open to experience. And luckily enough, without any prior organisation, I guarantee you, this can happen if you're open to experience. I was in a place called Merida in Extremadura. I walked in the opposite direction through dry grass parks along the west bank of the river, eventually coming to where an ancient Roman bridge began. Sitting next to an old white painted well was a middle-aged man with long dark hair. He was singing loud enough to be heard from the other side of the road, a lovely, strong but sweet flamenco trill. I walked over to him. "I couldn't help hearing you from over there," I said, pointing to the other, off to the town. You have a beautiful voice, very authentic." "That's kind of you," he said, and looking directly into my eyes, he gave me another short burst of song. "What is that song about?" I asked. "Oh, we sing about a lot of different themes. I'm a gypsy. All our songs explore universal things, happiness, jealousy, death, grief." I asked him about duende, the spirit of flamenco, and what it means to him personally. "It's the motivation, feeling that's essential to the music." I told him I'd recently been listening to a flamenco singer from Barcelona, I recommend her, named Maite Martin, and that I thought she also had a wonderful voice. "Ah, yes," he said, "I have sung on the same stage as her." He listed a number of other names that I hadn't heard of and stated that he toured France a number of times. As with many other flamenco singers, his biggest influence and hero was the gypsy El Camarón, nicknamed the Shrimp. Did he agree, I wondered, with the theory that his people had originally come from India? Yes, that is documented. The Punjab, the military campaign, then one group went off to Eastern Europe and another here. It's generally accepted that gypsy migration from India to Europe was still continuing as recently as the 11th century. He also agreed with me that the oral tradition and very little written history is a feature of their culture. That is why we sing, to explain. My family originated in Extremadura. I have 4 children and my father at home here, but I have a brother living in Barcelona. "Oh, I live in Barcelona too. Oh, but I'm from Australia," he said. I said, "I'm travelling through the region and further on." "I've been to Australia once," he said. "I liked it. I lived in a chalet there and sang in Sydney and Melbourne, but I don't speak much English and only a little French." "Did you have any problems with racism there or here in Spain?" I asked him. "Well, people can be afraid if they don't know you. We face the stereotype of being thought of as thieves. But the bigger difficulty from day to day is unemployment." I told this friendly, talkative man that I was going to the Andalusian town of Jaén in a few days. "Oh, watch out for the sun on your head there, it gets very hot." This to me was a Spanish, even Mediterranean statement. The heat is always worse somewhere else. Just as for an Italian, typically no town is ever as lovely as their hometown. Now that he had to go to meet his wife, he told me his name was Juan de Pura. I asked him if he had a website and he referred me to YouTube, where he has several videos. Juan would be singing at the Peña Flamenca in Córdoba the following month, he said. We shook hands and wished each other good luck, and Juan sauntered off home through the park, singing, this time almost to himself. I recalled how I'd first heard the strong tones of his voice from across the street and couldn't help thinking of a Bob Dylan line, "Bird on the horizon, sitting on a fence." He's singing a song for me at his own expense. And I go on in the book to talk about more a little bit of history of the Gypsy Romani people and some other comments about flamenco. Thank you. Have a good night.